Step inside the art gallery of Hamilton's exhibition, The Artist's Dream, Works of French Symbolism in this virtual tour. This exhibition explores dreaming as a metaphor for artistic vision in the Symbolist movement in France. It features works by Pierre Puvis de Chavannes, Jean-Jacques Henner, Auguste Rodin, Eugène Carrière, Sarah Bernhardt, Jeanne Jacquemin, Camille Claudel, and other artists associated with symbolism in France. Symbolism originated as a literary movement and flourished in the visual arts from the 1800s to the turn of the 20th century. Rather than recording observable phenomena in nature, the symbolists were drawn to the invisible realm of subjective ideas. In their quest to visually express subjective ideas, symbolist artists drew inspiration from dreaming in the development of their imagery and style. One of the artists featured in the exhibition is Eugène Carrière, whose paintings were described at the time as realities having the magic of a dream. The dreamlike quality of Carrière's style is apparent in painting from around 1899. Here, Carrière uses a monochromatic palette and non-finito technique, intentionally creating an unfinished effect to render an allegory of painting. The figure of painting on the right holds a palette and positions the model, who gazes into the distance. Carrière used his daughters as subjects for this painting. He frequently depicted members of his family, as we can see also in the lithograph entitled The Sleep, dated to before 1897. This print depicts the artist's sleeping son, Jean-René Carrière. Sleep was a subject that the artist returned to throughout his career, depicting his models in various states of slumber. The altered states of consciousness associated with sleeping and dreaming were enduring areas of interest for the symbolists. In this lithograph, the artist employs the fluid gestures that evoke the sensation of falling into a deep sleep. Jean-Jacques Henner was a proto-symbolist whose paintings influenced younger artists like Carrière. Henner used religious iconography to explore the theme of death, as is evident in the Levite of Ephraim and his wife from 1895. In this painting, the artist employed dramatic chiaroscuro, that is, the use of strong tonal contrasts, to focus attention on the lifeless body, which appears to glow as if illuminated from inside. Notice how the figure's red hair flows like blood from her body, alluding to the gruesome outcome of this biblical tale. The otherworldly quality of light and hazy contours imbue Henner's painting with a dreamlike effect, one that led a contemporary viewer to describe Henner's art as all dreamy simplicity. Jean-Jacques Henner also painted a series of red-haired women in profile. The women in these portraits gaze into the distance, an expression suggestive of being lost in reverie, but that was also associated with entering a hypnotic state. The emerging discipline of psychology generated interest in such altered states of consciousness, which you can see that Henner evokes here through the model's distant stare. The main gallery of this exhibition includes two sculptures by Camille Claudel. This sculpture depicts a youthful figure seated beside a wheat sheaf. Claudel worked closely with the sculptor Auguste Rodin between the years of 1883 and 1893. Their collaboration is evident when comparing this sculpture to Rodin's brother and sister, also on display in the gallery. The pose of the female model in Rodin's sculpture is indebted to Claudel's young girl with a sheaf, which was modeled 3 years earlier, attesting to the influence of Claudel on Rodin at this time. Let's step into the next gallery, where we'll encounter two very different depictions of women made by symbolist artists. You are looking at The Sorceress from 1897 by the artist Lucia Levy d'Urmer. The Sorceress was the embodiment of the femme fatale in late 19th century art. In this plaster relief, Levy d'Urmer depicts a sorceress accompanied by various creatures associated with witchcraft. Can you see the cat on her shoulder? What about the toad and bat? She holds a wand and potion bottle that symbolizes masculinity and femininity. In addition to the presence of the potion bottle and wand, the figure's unnaturally constricted pose suggests that she is in the midst of performing an incantation. Compare this work to Sarah Bernhardt's self-portrait as a sphinx, dated to 1880. The stage actress Sarah Bernhardt was also a highly accomplished visual artist, who exhibited regularly at the Paris Salon. In this bronze sculpture, which was a functional inkwell, Bernhardt has transformed herself into a sphinx. The sphinx was associated with the figure of the new woman, a term that emerged in the late 19th century to describe modern women who resisted traditional gender roles. Bernhardt's transformation into a sphinx produces a powerful self-portrait of the artist as a new woman that stands in contrast to the representation of the female sorceress by Levy. In this gallery, we also encounter 3 lithographs by the artist Odile O Morado, who was known as the Prince of Dreams. Dreaming was central to Rodin's personal definition of art. He believed that art should be a reflection of both conscious and unconscious experience. These lithographs were inspired by Gustave Flaubert's prose poem, The Temptation of St. Anthony. The strange juxtapositions and stark tonal contrasts typify the artist's lithographic style. More works on paper by French symbolists are in view in the final gallery of the exhibition. Here we can see works by Félix Vailleton, such as 3 Bathers from 1894. This woodcut appears in the French art and literary magazine La Revue Blanche in February 1894. It depicts 3 water nymphs seemingly unaware of our presence as viewers. While the scene initially appears to be tranquil, could something more sinister be about to occur? One bather slips beneath the surface of the water as another looms menacingly above. The ambiguity of the scene creates a palpable tension. We also see examples of the lithographic works of Henri Fontaine-Latour. This print, titled To Berlioz from 1895, illustrates the fact that music was an important source of inspiration for the symbolists. Henri Fontaine-Latour frequently portrayed musical subjects in his lithographic prints. In this example, a bust of the Romantic composer Hector Berlioz looks towards an allegorical figure of music who inscribes a stone tablet. The scene has an evanescent quality reminiscent of the fleeting nature of music and dreaming. Rather than searching for subjects in the external world, the symbolists probed the depths of human psychology. This exhibition examines how the symbolists exploited the aesthetic potential of dreaming in both their imagery and their style. For much like today, dreaming was viewed as an escape from reality and as opening a window into the human psyche.